Remember when I caked Peach Emoji?
Yeah.
A lot of people requested an eggplant emoji.
Why would anyone ever use an eggplant emoji?
I have no idea. And what do eggplants have to do with peaches?
I don't know.
I don't know either. One's a fruit, one's a vegetable. Yeah.
It doesn't even go well together.
I would ask you guys to leave a comment, but I don't think there's an answer, so that's not necessary. So, eggplant emoji. I decided on simple on the inside, vanilla cake, vanilla buttercream. You know what? I built this cake entirely out of scraps. Whenever we have extra batter, we'll pour it into smaller pans, wrap them up and freeze them. And so that's what I'm making this cake out of. So the 6-inch rounds, I had 4 6-inch round cakes. I leveled them all, cut the caramelization off the bottom, and layered them all into 2. And then I had 2 8-inch rounds that were leveled and layered, and I had those off to the side because I wasn't quite sure if I'd need them. I'm trying to remember what I did. I'm pretty sure I used a circle cutter. Yeah, I'm gonna go with circle cutter. I think that's, did I?
Didn't you make this like a couple
Last,
days ago?
yeah, I did, but I don't remember. Well, there's footage, that's good news. And now it's time to simple syrup. As always, plain simple syrup. I decided to fill and stack this cake upright at first and then lay it down. First, I started with 4 layers of round cake, filled and stacked with Italian meringue buttercream, and then I put it to the side. And then I took the next 4 layers, filled and stacked it with Italian meringue buttercream, put it aside, and then with the 8-inch, filled and stacked those. I love baba ganoush. Can you say it with your accent?
Baba ganoush?
Yes. I love eggplant parmigiana. Have you ever had that? Now it's time to lay the cakes down and create that sort of oblong shape that I need. I am gonna cut a little bit of cake off of each cake round because I need it to be just a bit flat at the bottom. Otherwise it's troublesome. Cake wants to roll around. I don't have time for it. So I shaved off a little bit of cake and then I iced the top of the 2 6-inch round cake, laid them down and sort of butted them up against each other. And then before I carve, very important, I'm going to chill this cake because carving while the buttercream is soft is just a mess. It's much easier if I can firm up the buttercream in the fridge. While the cake chills, let's think of some other popular eggplant dishes.
I wish there was an eggplant restaurant where they just
Had
serve
eggplant?
dishes.
Open that up. Shape the whole restaurant like an eggplant. You walk in. Paint the entire restaurant aubergine inside.
It's a nice color.
It is. It's a very nice color. Oh, if there are popular eggplant dishes from wherever you're from, leave a comment below, tell us the name of the dish, describe it. So the cake is now chilled, it's time to start carving. I did make myself a template. Shuchi helped me blow it up perfectly. And then I was just sort of holding the template over the cake to get the general shape. I started to carve the general sort of curve, and then I started to shave down and round out the sides. It's not intense carving because let's think about it. Like you look at an emoji as 2-dimensional. You don't look at it as 3-dimensional. One thing I will say, you always want to make sure that you indent the bottom because it is a naturally rounded object. So you don't want it to just look round on the top and then come straight down.
Yeah.
Even with all that said, I never feel like the shape is correct. When I carve a cake and it's still in cake form and I can see the lines of filling, it's still sort of hard for my eye to decide if the shape is right. So when I was happy with the shape, or thought I was, I crumb coated the whole thing in Italian meringue buttercream and popped it in the fridge to chill. I find that when I crumb coat a cake like this, it lets me see it as like one object. You know what I mean? And then this way I can always carve away more if needed and just patch up the crumb coat until I'm happy with the shape. So I've carved the eggplant, crumb coated the eggplant. It is time to ice the eggplant. I'm going to use my invention. Shuchi loves when I use the invention, so I feel like the shots are like extra sexy. You know what I mean? She gets very excited. I like using the invention too. I can't believe I caked for years without using an invention.
Yeah.
Years. Life-changing.
Do you want to make a realistic eggplant this one?
I made the emoji eggplant because it was highly requested after the peach emoji.
Yeah.
Obviously I could make a realistic eggplant, but that wasn't the request. We're not gonna make this an eggplant channel, are we? It is now time to cover the cake. I colored some fondant purple eggplant emoji color. As I just said, real eggplants are much darker and deeper than this. I kind of try to roll it out in the shape that the cake is, so where it's wider at the bottom, I roll my fondant wider and drape it over the whole emoji, smooth it, tuck all the excess. This is the trickiest part, tucking all the excess fondant under. You don't want to trim all of it away at once because it might bounce up. Away most of the excess, but have still about a ½ inch extra. And then I use my paring knife to sort of tuck under and slowly trim, always making sure that fondant is going under the bend. Fondant is on, the fondant is trimmed, nice and purple.
I guess once you nail the shape with this one, you just need to smooth it.
You just need to make it sure it's smooth. Yeah, because it's an emoji, it's a cartoon, so it's perfectly smooth. If I was making a real eggplant, it could have nicks and scratches and, you know, be soft in areas, but that doesn't happen with the emoji. It's perfect. So, now it's time to move on to the green. I don't know why you're laughing. Time to add the greenery at the top of the eggplant. I rolled it out. I cut that part out of my template, but again, because it's one-dimensional on a piece of paper, I only knew what the leaves should look like right at the top. I cut the leaves and then I sort of cut an extension of them. Then I had to wet the purple fondant slightly so the green would stick. Draped it on in place. I used the template as a guide, smoothed it, cut away the excess. Oh yeah, I did do a nub, of course. It's a very simple nub because it's a cartoon nub. Normally when I make a nub, it's like rough, it's textured on the top because that's where it would be cut off the plant, but not the eggplant emoji. I added the very simple nub at the top, and now it's time to paint. So for the body of the eggplant, it's the right color. So I think what I'm going to do, or I don't think what I'm going to do, what I did is I painted the entire surface of the purple fondant solely with alcohol. This is just to activate the sugar, give it a bit of shine, but I was happy with the color, so I didn't add color at this point. The next thing I need is, there's quite a shine, like there's like a reflection on the eggplant emoji. So I mixed together a little purple paint with a bit of white just to resemble the reflection, and I painted that curve right on the top. And then there's also a bit of a shadow. So I did the same thing without the white, just made a darker purple paint and painted a shadow. And now I feel like it. See, look, the shine and then the shadow. Now I have to work on the green. The green is pretty flat. There is an area that looks a bit lighter with a bit of a yellow tone. So I mixed together some green. I painted the entire leaf area, and then I used a brush in one direction on the leaves just to smooth out the paint. And I also want to make sure where the fondant is cut along the edge of the leaves. I made an eggplant emoji, and he says, "I'm just an eggplant." I have no idea. I mean, I've never even used an eggplant emoji. Why would I do that? Grocery list to my husband? I have no idea. I want to thank you for all of your suggestions. Still don't understand what a peach and an eggplant have to do with each other.